said we're lucky to have got this far, and that it's not worth fighting for. The words are written on the wall. Come on and fight back. No starting over again. We'll take it right back from the ones we're again. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. Take a chance now and draw a line in the sand. It's in our hands now. No living with regret. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. This is our last
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones, and we are here with a slightly delayed reaction to WWE Battleground, otherwise known as WWE Bowling Ground, Weird Ground, Strange Ground, and Dull Ground.
Many of the names we can say.
Yes, but before we get into that, we have some news regarding this year's WWE video game.
That is 2K18.
As you know, we like to keep you up to date with these things. We already know, of course, that Seth Rollins is the cover star, that current Raw General Manager Kurt Angle is the pre-order special, and the deluxe edition is available 4 days early, or 3 days early. But also, we have now had the collector's edition come out, and the collector's edition is very similar to the one which I believe was released a few years ago for 2K16 when it celebrated the career of The Undertaker. Except that this one celebrates 15 years of John Cena. Now let's see, what exactly do we get in this collector's edition? Well, of course you get the game, but you also get 2 playable versions of John Cena.
Yes,
Which have a Thug Life and pretty much his modern day version. You also get 2 playable versions of Kurt Angle, but that's pretty much said to anyone who pre-orders the game that those will be his Olympic gold medalist gimmick in 2001 and his wrestling machine gimmick towards the later part of his career.
yes. Great title.
You will also get a rare cards for those of you who play the WWE Supercard game. And along with that, you'll get well, when I first heard this, I was a little confused. We will get playable versions of Rob Van Dam and the Animal Batista. Batista I can understand because he has been a rivalry with John Cena for a while, but Rob Van Dam only played a small part in his feud with John Cena.
What you want to be a championship.
And other than that, you get a Mattel figure of John Cena. But the thing which really amps up the price, in my opinion, is the signed photo of John Cena along with a piece of the ring mat from the Royal Rumble this year, in which he won his record-tying 16th WWE Championship. In the UK, this comes to us for about £130.
Ouch. But, well,
It is a bit of an ouch, but to any clear fan, it's worth the cost.
absolutely you on it. I'm going to order it.
Yes, and of course, this comes out October the 13th. And remember, the collector's edition is a limited thing, so if you want it, you have to act fast.
Yes.
And of course, a reminder that this year, WWE 2K18 is only available on next generation consoles.
Yeah, so last year, you miss out.
But then, who still has last gen consoles these days? But any event, on to Battleground.
Yes. What kind of background do we have?
Battleground started off, of course, with a pre-show. And this had a match between the Perfect Hentai Challenger and Aiden English. Now, in what was, considering what happened in the rest of the show, a fairly decent match, it surprised people that the winner of the match was Aiden English.
Yes, very surprising. See an English actually win a match.
But then we moved on to the main card, and we opened up Battleground with what is clearly, in anyone's point of view, what was the match of the night. And this was the tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships between the Usos and the New Day.
Here we go.
Now, the New Day did a bit of a change in this match because we know that most of the time it's Big E and Kofi Kingston who do the wrestling.
Not in this case.
In this match, it was Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods who did the wrestling. Although I would say Xavier Woods probably did most of it because, what was it, about halfway through the match roughly, the Usos took out Kofi Kingston, leaving Xavier Woods to fight alone. And how he survived everything that came his way is beyond me. We had submission holds.
Yeah.
We had splashes.
Yeah.
We even had a Shawn Michaels style spot in which during a part where Xavier Woods was going for a flying elbow, he ran into a super kick in midair.
Ouch.
I don't know how he kicked out of that, but he did. But the New Day just refused to lose, and as the match went on, Kofi Kingston came back into it. The match ended with a Trouble in Paradise, followed by Xavier Woods' Shawn Michaels, Shane McMahon, Macho Man, Randy Savage, flying elbow from Rich 3 across the ring. So, we can now say this, or I can now say this. Don't you dare be sour. Clap for your new tag champs and feel the power. It's a new day, yes it is.
Yeah, they are the first tag team to win the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles.
But I think it's safe to say that this rivalry is not quite over, and we could possibly see one more match take place at SummerSlam, because they were attacked whilst coming out for their celebration on the SmackDown afterwards, and knocked the week after that.
Yep.
Next, we moved on to the match between the Lone Wolf and Mr. Money in the Bank, Baron Corbin,
He's a god.
against Shinsuke Nakamura.
The artist known as Shinsuke Nakamura.
Now, this was a brutal match. It was a brutal match with kicks, punches,
You name it.
what you would expect from these two technicians. And I think the crowd and pretty much the people watching it were pleased with this match until it came to the slightly bizarre ending. From what was a great match, we had a match which ended by disqualification when it looked like that Baron Corbin was out of it. He decided to hit Nakamura with a low blow, and as he walked away, he decided to come back into the ring, hit him with a briefcase, and followed by the end of days, leaving Nakamura counted out in the ring. These two would have a rematch on Tuesday's episode of SmackDown following, in which he would try a similar move only to be countered
Shinsuke.
into the Kinshasa, and Nakamura would pick up the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but things well looked at it. Well,
Now we move on to some women's action, and this was disappointing in some ways and surprising in some ways.
yeah, most certainly.
This was a fatal 5-way elimination match to determine who would face the SmackDown Women's Champion, or, as it can be slightly described at the moment, the SmackDown Glow Champion at SummerSlam.
And who were the 5 women wrestlers winning the SmackDown Glow Championship?
The 5 women were Tamina, Charlotte Flair, Lana, Becky Lynch, and Natalya.
And as you said, slightly surprising.
Yes, one thing which played heavily in this match was the bizarre alliance which seems to have developed between Lana and Tamina. And whilst those two seemed to be teaming up quite a bit, the action was mostly all over the place until we had 3 quick eliminations
Huh?
when Becky Lynch eliminated both Tamina and Lana with a disarmer.
Surprising.
Becky Lynch was then eliminated with a roll-up by Natalya. This left Natalya and Charlotte going at a one-on-one, and after a few minute match and a almost bizarre ending, again, Natalya pinned Charlotte after her head collided with the turnbuckle, or rolled up after the hit the turnbuckle. The ending was surprising, and it was also surprising that Natalya won, because I'm pretty sure the favourite going into this was for Charlotte to win.
Yeah. Now,
But then again, after everything that Charlotte did last year, it is sort of a good thing that they're not putting the title straight back on her. Now, next we move on to the United States Championship match between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens.
America. You never know it. We're not big fans of America. That's somebody else.
So, let's talk about this, shall we?
Yeah.
These two had a match at Backlash, in which Kevin Owens won by countout after AJ Styles got caught up in the wiling of the announce table. About 2 weeks prior to Battleground, at a live event in Madison Square Garden, AJ Styles defeated Kevin Owens to win the United States Championship. This led us to this match. In similar fashion to the McEnroe Corbin match, it was okay and could possibly have rivaled the New Day for match of the night had it not been for the weird ending. Again, because after a bunch of back and forth stuff, near falls, AJ Styles was going for the Styles Clash, I believe it was, when he got flung into the referee. So, the referee's knocked down, and both of Kevin Owens and AJ Styles do a bit of back and forth with submission holds, whilst the referee attempts to recover. So, about a couple of minutes later, the referee recovers, and I'm not sure what happens exactly, except AJ Styles ends up with his shoulders on the mat and gets a 1-2-3 count counted on him, making Kevin Owens the United States champion in a bit of a weird finish.
What? That
However, the following Tuesday on SmackDown, Kevin Owens came out of the ring to gloat, say that he was so good that he was United States Champion again, calling AJ Styles a thief, and saying that he would bring back the United States Championship Open Challenge next week because he was not going to defend the title in Richmond, Virginia. AJ Styles comes to the ring to say that he wants his rematch tonight, but then something happens, and I am gonna say this: do you know what happens if you don't like what happened? Do you want to know what happens if you don't like what happens? I'll tell you what happens if you don't like what happened. You just made the list.
Just say Kevin Owens' face was not too pleased to see Chris Jericho.
Yes, Chris Jericho comes back to SmackDown for the first time since losing the United States Championship 2 days after Payback. And so he says that he's back and he wants his rematch for the United States Championship, which technically speaking he's still owed.
Yes, and then he looks at AJ Styles.
Yes, AJ Styles says, "Good to be good, you're back, good job and lost your sense of humour, but I'm the next person who's in that line for that championship." So there's a bit of back and forth. AJ Styles ends up being put on the list. Kevin Owens tries to walk out of the ring. It's called back by Chris Jericho as a stupid idiot. And as if Kevin Owens' day wasn't bad enough, Shane McMahon then comes out and says that AJ Styles and Chris Jericho both do the rematch and they will get it at the same time. And the main event of SmackDown that night becomes a triple threat match for the United States Championship between Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Chris Jericho.
And second thoughts, the winner of the match, and
The winner of the match after a bit of a classic triple threat and new United States Champion AJ Styles. But the story did not end there because AJ Styles picked the bones after Kevin Owens had delivered a frog splash onto Chris Jericho, and of course in a triple threat match the champion does not have to be involved in a decision to lose the title. He said it's unfair and he's going to invoke his rematch for this past episode of SmackDown, which took place last night.
yes, last
However,
yet again there was a controversial decision.
yes, except this time Mike Yoner was the one who got knocked down.
Yes, he's a veteran referee.
There was a roll-up and Kevin Owens' shoulder was clearly up for pretty much the entire 3 count. The referee's decision was that AJ Styles won the match.
And retained the championship.
But it's safe to say that Kevin Owens was fuming.
Yes, so he attacked Mike Yoder backstage, wrecked some stuff, and then Shane McMahon said, alright, you will get your opportunity at the United States Championship.
But the match for the United States Championship will take place at SummerSlam, but Owens demands a referee that's not going to fall at the first punch or screw him and see things clearly. So Daniel Bryan decides to make the guest referee for the match at SummerSlam Shane McMahon.
That is going to be interesting.
And it should be, I say should be called Straight Down the Middle.
Anyway, back to Battleground.
Our next match at Battleground was the flag match between Rusev and John Cena. Now, we call this a flag match. It's more like, another way to describe it is holding on to someone's feet match. What this match was is we had a Bulgarian flag in one corner, the United States flag in another. You had to grab your flag and walk it back up the ramp and place it in the stand that was by the entrance.
And how was the match? You say brutal?
Well, like I said, the match was like 90% holding on to your feet.
Was the eventual winner of the match?
Well, the eventual winner of the match was pretty much guaranteed. There came a point when Rusev decided to set up two tables next to the stand where Cena needed a place for United States flag. And from years of experience, and really you didn't need years of experience to do it, you could see what was going to happen straight there. So about 10 minutes, possibly sooner from there, you had Rusev get attitude adjusted through both tables and John Cena place the flag on the stand and win the match. Following that match, John Cena did a interesting segment with the winner of the Punjabi prison match the following SmackDown, but that's a story for when we discuss SummerSlam.
Yes.
Now, in between the Punjabi prison match and the flag match, we had Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis.
This has been brewing for a while. It's been happening now for the past few weeks.
Yeah, it's more or less been brewing over the time since Mike and Maria debuted. Now, whilst there's nothing, this was a good match. I just think it was more of a SmackDown match than a pay-per-view match. After attempting a similar distraction move which won him the match the previous Tuesday on SmackDown and failing, Sami Zayn was able to hit Mike with a Helluva kick and get for 1, 2, 3. Now, I am not a fan of this power of love stuff. I can possibly see that what they're possibly trying to do is have them as sort of SmackDown's version of The Miz and Maurice. But I don't think it's working. And now, speaking of the Punjabi prison match, it is now time for the main event, which of course was the Punjabi prison match for the WWE Championship. The Monday Maharaja Jinder Mahal defended the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. Punjabi prison mats. 2 bamboo-enforced cages around each other. The first one has 4 doors, and each door is called open by a participant and stays open for 1 minute. Once you get out of that one, you have to climb the outer one and get out of the cage the other side. Now, there had been a segment earlier in the evening where the Sin brothers said that they would not be able to accompany Jinder Mahal out of the ring and would not play a factor in this match. However, that proved to be far from the truth, because when Randy Orton was about to escape the last door because all the others had been shut, we had the Sin brothers appear from underneath the ring and stop Orton and pull Mahal out, which basically turned this into a 3-on-1 Punjabi prison match.
That was not that.
So we've basically spent the better part of 10 to 15 minutes having a fight in the outer parts of the cage. We had a Sin brother get hit with a chair. We had one fall from the cage through one of the announce tables. And as if this wasn't all bad enough, just when Randy Orton looked like he might actually win the match, this became a 4-on-1 Punjabi prison match when Jinder Mahal's music hit, and emerging from the entrance was the creator of the Punjabi prison match, the great Khali.
Yes, he is back, and he shook the cage and he choked the act.
As he shook the cage, forcing Orton to fall. Then, when Jinder Mahal was climbing, Orton tried to climb again, except Khali, being massive, was able to grab Orton through the cage and hold him there for Mahal to get out. So the winner of the match, and still WWE Champion, Jinder Mahal. Now, whilst I have mixed feelings about having the Khali back, I'm not completely against seeing him in like some kind of bodyguard role, because God knows if a guy cannot wrestle to save his life. They already tried putting the world title on him once and it did not go down so well. So he's hopefully back as a sort of bodyguard / ambassador role to India behind the scenes. So that does it for Battleground. Now SummerSlam has begun to take shape, as has NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3.
Yes, both of them are shaping up very nicely.
Both of which we will bring you in a 2-in-1 special in about 2 weeks' time.
Yes, until then, he's been
With Rock Jones, and he's been, and we shall see you when WWE heads to Brooklyn.